We're back, and today we're talking about Kagurabachi Chapter 5. It has been a while since I've done one of these reviews, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, Chapter 5 is a setup chapter where we're learning about this organization, that this new character, this new villain that we were introduced to, Genishi Sojo, I believe that's his name. They're talking about how dangerous this guy is, right? We saw last chapter when Chihiro was fighting that mysterious sorcerer, that even though this is a sorcerer, right? Chihiro still didn't struggle that much, right? If at all. Chihiro still was under control the whole fight, and he essentially just beat the guy without any issues, right? Which also I want to talk about Shiba, because right now, Shiba seems to be like a support character when it comes to battles, right? Like he's not fighting in the front lines. Now, of course, that could all be just because he's letting Chihiro take the reins, because he knows just how strong Chihiro is, and he can probably deduce, what opponents he can actually take. And that might actually change next chapter, right? Because I don't think this manga is going to be headed in the direction where, Chihiro is the most OP character ever and he's never going to struggle, right? Especially since in chapter 5, they're literally setting up a very dangerous person, right? This sorcerer refuses to say who he's working for, because if he does say who he's working for, right, I'm guessing there's some sorcery involved that it might actually kill him. It might actually kill Shiba as well. Who knows, right? But he's actually saying, if I talk, we're both dead. So that's something that we gotta look into, right? But now, whenever Genishi Sojo shows up, he's supposed to be a really big arms dealer. He definitely knows probably where some of the enchanted swords are. I mean, they're looking for Cloud Gouger, I believe that's the name. And, he might be the one that either knows something about it. He might have dealt with that sword and sold it to somebody as well. Who knows, right? But if he's involved, that probably means that the sword definitely landed in somebody's hands that should not have it, right? Somebody dangerous. And we all know back from chapter 1, Chihiro's father telling him that they're responsible for these swords and the wielders, right? The people that they go after, the people that they kill. So yeah, they definitely need to get this sword back, because as of right now, it doesn't look good. Now, we also have to talk about Car, right? Because this was a girl that was running away from this organization. We don't know what happened. We don't know how she escaped. And we don't know why the organization is actually looking for her, right? Why do they need her? I actually have my own little theory regarding that. I think it has something to do with one of the 6 enchanted swords that they stole. I mean, if you remember back in like chapter 2, there were 6 of them, and one of them was actually wrapped around some sort of like ropes. And these ropes, there was a popular theory on Reddit, I'm gonna put it here somewhere, where it was essentially talking about how this rope separates, like the human realm from like the, the god realm. It's supposed to be like a sign of purity and stuff like that. And I'm guessing that somehow, some way, maybe Car is the key to maybe opening this box, because we also saw that was the only box that was actually taken away, right? It wasn't broken into and just, the swords stolen. The whole box was taken. So maybe Car has some sort of relationship to that. Maybe they need a certain bloodline to open this thing. Maybe somebody that, half god or half a demigod or something like that. Again, this is a very early on manga. We don't know where this is gonna go, right? For all we know, once we learn about the war that happened like, years and years ago, we might actually learn that there were some gods here, right? Spirits or something along those lines, right? I mean, there's sorcery and stuff like that. For all we know, all that power can be sourced from like, some higher being. I mean, think of like something like God of High School, where we know that there's gods in the world and they get their power depending on the gods that they worship and stuff like that, right? So that could be something that's happening here as well. Just a nice little theory I like to throw in there, but that could be very well the case. So right now, I think Kagurabachi is doing something very good, right? Because this is a shonen, so of course we're going to be seeing a lot of battles, and that's great, right? Because I like to see a good fight every now and then, right? And Kagurabachi has given us some really good fights, even though we haven't seen Chihiro actually go all out, even though we haven't seen like an enchanted blade versus another enchanted blade user. I think once we get that fight, it's probably going to be an absolutely insane fight, and we might actually get to see Chihiro go all out. But on top of that, we might actually get to see the capabilities of these enchanted swords, right? Like the full extent of their power, what they can actually do. I'm guessing it's probably going to be some crazy stuff, right? So maybe get Genishi Sojo, maybe he has one. I don't think we're going to see that this early. Maybe by chapter 10 we might see one of those fights, but I really do think we need to get one as soon as possible, right? But yeah, right now this chapter, it was just a setup chapter. We're dealing with the necromancer as well right now. I'm guessing that Chihiro is probably going to take care of that pretty fast. I think the one that Chihiro is actually going to fight and struggle with is probably going to be against Genishi, right? Because that dude, he's a little back race. I mean, he had the guy hanging up there. Yeah, that dude, He's definitely dangerous. But yeah, overall, Kagurabachi, I definitely think is doing great things, setting up a lot of mysteries, a lot of questions for us, the readers. You know, the enchanted swords. What are the other 6? What can they do? What are their powers? Of course, we got the whole mystery with the car as well. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and I really hope this manga makes a distance. It is fairly popular right now in Manga Plus, but really when it comes down to it, it doesn't matter how popular it is on Manga Plus. If it's publishing on Weekly Shonen Jump like how Kagurabachi is, all they care about is essentially sales, right? And of course, you know, without an anime, we can't really expect the Kagurabachi sales to be like, you know, really, really high. But, you know, after like maybe a year or so, we definitely need to see like a big improvement when it comes to sales. Maybe not big, but like at least an increase over volume, right? Anyways, let me know what you think of Kagurabachi so far. I know a lot of people have been overhyping it, going insane with it. Other people have been hating on it. I honestly think it's an okay manga, right? It's solid 7 out of 10 at least, right? We just gotta wait for all these characters to evolve. We gotta wait for the plot line to actually evolve into something bigger and stuff like that. And we'll go from there, right? But yeah, let me know what you think. And like always, have a great day. Make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next chapter. Peace out. Boom.